Okay, so the Hottie and the Nottie. This is, no, I think I still have a couple more Paris Hilton movies to deal with in the bottom 100. But in any case, this is probably the most prominent Paris Hilton movie listed in the bottom 100. It held the #1 spot for quite some time, and, I mean, as you can expect, it's bad. Of course it's bad. It's a Paris Hilton movie. So, I guess going into the plot on this one, Paris Hilton is in it. She's not the main character, though. The main character is this dude that I didn't recognize, who is actually the lead in this movie, who is attracted to her and is, I think, reconnected to her from high school, and has always had this super crush on her and wanted to date her or whatever, and has this, there's this really stupid mechanism where they're talking about how all the attractive girls have this one ugly friend that tries to protect them from people hurt, and it's really massively shitty. It's a really shitty movie. Like, this is kind of like Pledge This, in that not only is like it mechanically shitty put together, actually this one is not quite as mechanically shitty, but the message is, even though the ultimate message is, but in the end everything's okay and he learns a lesson, but the real message that's like sent out throughout this movie is that you don't have worth until you're attractive, or be attractive or not be worth anything. So it's plenty loathsome, and the main character is totally unlikable, and it's very hard to empathize with the guy. I mean, it's impossible. He's just such a dickbag. Basically, he wants to date Paris Hilton character, so he tries to hook back up with her years later, and he starts just lying constantly. Like, he lies about being a personal trainer. He lies about knowing yoga. He just constantly lies in this massive snowball throughout the movie to try and make himself look half decent, but in the process just becomes more of an ass. Like, you can't be on this guy's side. There's just no way. So yeah, he keeps lying about things like saying that he's this awesome person that does all of these great things, but he's actually just a complete loser. So he starts talking about how great her friend is, who's really, like, they really go overboard with the makeup to try and make her look as unattractive as possible. And she's also just played up to be just the most nasty, you can't spend time around her because she just, like, has infected toenails falling off, and just basically a rotting, almost corpse kind of person. And it's just so overblown. It's just unnecessary. And most of the jokes throughout the first half of the movie are how disgusting she is. Which, come on. It's just so lazy. It's just this lazy... I didn't look up who wrote this. I'm not spending any time on this. But yeah, it's just all the writing, all the jokes are just, again, they're from this mean kind of place. They're just not, they're not funny. Like, it's like whoever wrote this was just somehow tone deaf to the fact that, no, you're the dick here. You're being an asshole. In the end, ultimately, they meet some, plastic surgeon who then fixes her and makes her attractive, and then he realizes all along that he actually likes the friend of Paris Hilton instead of her, but he only realizes that after she's super attractive. It's pretty shitty. So you hate this guy the whole time, and yeah, he ultimately, there's a party and this final sort of thing or whatever, and the plastic surgeon guy is revealed to be a total dick, which, whatever. There's not much to talk about here. It's just a bunch of horrid people, apart from, the villainized girl who's supposed to be just infinitely unattractive. And, is actually, she probably has the funnier lines in the movie when she's making cracks at people, when she's, like, defending herself. Even then, you're not laughing. There's not any laughs in the movie. But she's probably also the only actual acting going on in this movie. She almost seems like a human character when they're not trying to make her look ridiculous. But everybody else is just miserable and loathsome and horrible. Like, at one point, he's trying to set other people up with her so that she can be happy and no longer get in his way of trying to date the Paris Hilton character, and it all goes hilariously awry, because she's just so unlikable and unlovable. And it's just horrid. It's just the stupidest fucking movie. It was not a fun watch. This is not one that there's not any humor to be driven out of how bad it is. Because again, unlike Pledge This, which actually had a lot of mechanical failures, it wasn't well put together. This actually was clearly a professionally put together film. Like, that's the thing, when a film is doing a lot of things right, then you don't notice it. And this is like, I didn't notice any bad editing. I didn't notice any, particularly horrible directorial stuff. It was exactly what it was trying to be, which is a really dumb, lowbrow comedy just trying to sell itself to the dregs of society. So it succeeds in being that. Congratulations. The props and the makeup go way overboard. This, to the point of being a fantasy. But other than that, yeah, mechanically, it's all in the writing. The writing is just miserable, and that's really the core of it. This is one of those movies that there's one aspect of it that just makes it so impossible to enjoy. As a film, without the writing, if somebody rewrote the whole thing, or if you put it on mute, then you would pretty much just be bothered by the horrible, props and makeup and, what story you can try to piece together from what's happening on screen. It is primarily writing and dialogue and the plot and the story. All things that are the blame of the pen, or, the director for taking the job. Yeah, I hated it. I hated the movie, although, at least with Pledge This, there were some moments where, like, what the fuck actually just happened? There was no dog fellatio in this movie, and there was no giant condom ball. Yeah, so there was no giant poop explosion, like in Pledge This, that just made you, what just happened? Which also almost makes that quasi-redeemable in the sense of these people are so incompetent, this is hilarious. This one, sadly, is not incompetent enough to be entertaining in any way. It's just horrible. So, no. Nope. Yeah, don't watch it. It's bad. Not enjoyable. Nah. Nah. Nah.
Class, we have a new student today.
You never forget your first love.
Her name is Christabel.
Just ask Nate Cooper. 20 years later.
Aren't you Christabel Abbott? I think we went to school together.
Nate Cooper.
He's getting a second chance.
So what is it that you do these days?
I am a personal trainer.
You should check out my gym. My roommate and I are going there this afternoon for yoga. You want to come?
Yeah.
But the only way to get her
Hey, Cooper.
is to get past
You remember June?
her.
Yes, who could forget June?
It's a very well-known law of physics. The hotness of one girl is directly proportional to the ugliness of her best friend.
I've made a promise to myself that I'm not going to date anyone again until June has someone special in her life.
That could be a very long time.
She's like some hideous dragon guarding the princess.
I got a plan.
Like I said, as long as she's female. Oh my God, it has whiskers. And no teeth.
She has teeth, they're just not the conventional shade.
Let's go get some sun.
Good news! I just lost my toenail.
Regent Releasing presents
I have found the perfect guy for her.
Cheers.
You have unbelievable dome structure. Have you ever done any modeling?
He's just buttering up the freak to get to Christabel. This is your competition, my man. You are so screwed.
this Valentine's Day.
I love this song.
He stole my mojo.
Ooh, that was hard.
Johan happens to be the devil.
Excuse me, sorry.
Open your heart
Ever since the first grade, I thought that you were the girl that I was meant to be with. Oh.
And close your eyes.
Sorry.
Nice. June and I don't get much action, so we take what we can get.
Paris Hilton, Joel David Moore, Christine Lakin, the Hottie and the Nottie.
If you give up on your dream, you die.
Are you quoting me Flashdance?